All right, hello everybody. I'm recording in the living room for the first time, so you're going to hear a little bit of an echo in my background. I hope everybody is doing well. My voice probably sounds like I'm sleepy or I just woke up, because in fact I am. I am tired. I came in from Florida today from visiting my brother and his family and had a nice time. And that was this morning, and I got on the road and getting back here thought I was taking me a really good nap, and that ended up being like a 15-minute nap, but it got me to get through the rest of my evening. And I had a meeting a little while ago that was very informative, but I dozed off a couple of times, so therefore I have this kind of voice. But I definitely wanted to get on because I haven't been on in a minute, and I did want to talk about this topic for about a week now, but I've been a busy bee, so I'm getting to you now. So again, I hope everybody is doing well, taking care of yourself, taking care of your family, doing what we do as adults in this world today. Um, what's going on with me? Nothing's really going on with me. I'm just pushing, okay? I keep it pushing. I keep it moving. And I guess I'll talk about that one day. I'll get something together for a segment on just keeping it pushing and disappointments, and just keeping a positive mind. So that's where I'm at right now. But I did want to bring to you guys two phrases that have been a peeve of mine since I was young. And I've heard it when I was younger, as a child, and throughout the years. And I just wanted to address these two phrases that has been driving me up the wall. And it just recently was brought to in a conversation rather, that I was having with somebody after I talked about my review, so as you could say, my review on the red table conversation with Jada and Will. And I was having a conversation with somebody, and these two phrases, one of the phrases came up with, which led me to another phrase that irritates me over the years. But as always, I do have my housekeeping rules. Please, people, SLS me. Now, I appreciate all of you watching. I really do appreciate you watching. I hope that you're actually watching the entire segment and not just taking a look-see and then leaving without looking at it in its entirety. So one, I appreciate if you are looking at it entirely. I would also appreciate if you gave me a thumbs up, thumbs down. Like, I got 77 views, but like 14 thumbs ups. Like, people, talk to me, okay? I need to know how I'm doing here, okay? I am going to continue to, post things because that's just what I do right now. But it would be nice to hear back from you. People who have given comments, I love it. I thank you so very much for doing so. And please keep doing it. I like reading them, and it gives me inspiration. But if you can also, people who are viewing, if you can give me a thumbs up, even a thumbs down if you didn't like it, just let me know what's on your mind and how you're feeling about the content. All right, so let's go ahead and get into it. I just wanted to say that. But always, I also need to say, please hit me up at sugarfreelifecoaching@yahoo.com if you have any questions, any comments, any scenarios that you want me to talk about, any topics that you want me to talk about on the channel. Please hit me up at sugarfreelifecoaching@yahoo.com, and I will, bring it on the channel and have a discussion, and give you my points of view and my 2 cents. So definitely hit me up at Sugar Free Life Coaching if you are interested in any of my points of view on a topic that you are experiencing or something that maybe you discussed among friends or family. All right, so let's get into my peeved phrases since childhood. Uno, once a crackhead, always a crackhead. Hated it, hate that, always did. Second, you can't turn a hoe into a housewife. I hate that one, okay? I hate that one. But to address the first, cannot change. Once a crackhead, always a crackhead. I always hated this term. I hated it when I was younger. Like I said, these are things that I heard growing up. And the reason that I wanted to bring this up is because, like I said, it kind of spawned from the conversation that I had about the red table. And during the conversation that me and the guy was having, he brought up that term of hoe and housewife. And it made me think of once a crackhead, always a crackhead. And then I started talking to some young people, and hearing them mention how they felt about it, that's the reason why I wanted to bring it to the channel, because people are actually taking it to heart. I have no problem with sayings. There's always going to be sayings in the street as we're growing up. Sometimes it brings comedy to a situation. It brings, a little bit of fun and lightheartedness to, something that may be heavy, a situation that may be heavy. But when people are taking it to heart and living their lives this way, I wanted to just kind of interject and put my 2 cents, like I said, in about this topic and what it means to me, and what I hope that people would start thinking about how it is received and portrayed, to young people and to people that may be going through things. So once a crackhead, always a crackhead. I never liked this. I remember years ago, my girlfriend, she was just adamant. She was stuck on it. She's like, whatever. Once a crackhead, always a crackhead. And she would not change her mind. I don't know if she changed her mind because we haven't talked about it in a long time. But knowing her, she's probably kept that as she still sticks to that saying. I never liked it because I always kind of rooted for the underdog. I always wanted the best for somebody. So to know that they're going through a struggle, now some people, they love being on their drug. They love their vice, okay? They can be on crack, they can be on pills, they can be an alcoholic, and they love where they are. I'm not talking about those people. Okay, they are relishing in their lifestyle right now. Not a problem. But for the other people who are struggling and have a problem and who are actually addicted, they're not comfortable with it. They want a healthier lifestyle, but they're caught up and they're kind of weak right now. So to say that, once that person gets to a place where they actually, one, want to be out of that situation, they want help, two, to actually go and get the help, three, to go through the programs and whatever steps they need to in order to get better, four, to live their daily lives and get through 24 hours, 48 hours, 72 hours, and on every day, every moment with success. To say once a crackhead, always a crackhead, once a meth head, once a pill popper, once an alcoholic, whatever the case is, whatever the vice is, to say that these people can't overcome that is really disheartening. And I am a sucker for bringing people up. I'm a sucker for giving people positive feedback and making them feel good. Now, I do crack jokes, don't get me wrong. Anybody who knows me, I got jokes all day about people. But when people are serious about making changes in their lives, I take it seriously. And you never know where somebody may be at. They may be on the brink of going back to that lifestyle, and they're having a conversation with you, and it may not be about them per se, but they're just like on that edge, whatever they're going through, whatever their life is, their challenges at that time. And you may be talking about somebody else and you throw that term out, once a crackhead, always a crackhead. They may look at you like, you know what? They're right. John is right. John said this. Sam said this, and she's right. I look up to her. She got her stuff together. He has his stuff together. And if they think that, then hey, it must be true. And they end up going right back down that rabbit hole just because at that moment they were weak and they heard the wrong words. So that's why I entitled this segment Power in Words, because it does make a difference. So I just want people to be mindful when you throw something out there like that, like once a crackhead, always a crackhead, or anything like that along those lines. You just never know how that may be affecting someone. And again, our young people are listening, and some of them are unfortunately taking these things to heart. They can't differentiate between reality and, just a term. And of course, there's people who, they do you wrong. They keep showing crackhead, habits and crackhead behavior. And, not just crackhead per se, but you know what I mean, just that substance abusive behavior. And at that point, you just have to make a choice. But that doesn't mean that they are never going to come out of it. So, don't be silly. If somebody keeps stealing your TVs and you keep putting the TV in the room and letting them stay, like on the third TV, they probably looking at you like, yo, you want me to take the TV? So at that point, that's on you. But just overall, be smart when you're helping people, if you're going to help people, and just give them support and be positive for them. And even when you're just talking in general, just be mindful how your words can really affect somebody else. Now, my line that I think is hilarious. It's hilarious if you really think about it. So, wait, what's the term? You can't change a hoe to a housewife. You can't turn a hoe into a housewife. Okay, first off, I'm going to use the term hoe in this segment because that's part of the phrase. But I was talking to somebody a couple of years ago, and she had said something that was really profound to me. And she had said that she didn't like the term hoe because why did it have to be derogatory just because somebody enjoyed having sex a lot? She said if I read a lot, or, she liked to do anything a lot, there's no negative content word that goes along with that type of behavior. So in my mind, if you like to swim a lot, or if you like to drive a lot, or you like to shop a lot, I mean, they call you a shopaholic, but it's not a bad thing. You know, if you like to, I don't know, eat a lot, or whatever you like to do a lot, there's no negative indication along with that. But when you like to have sex a lot, it's something wrong with that. And when she said that, it really made a lot of sense to me. So I do take the term hoe out of my conversations now when I'm talking to people. But as I said, for this segment, I'm talking about phrases that have irritated me. And that is definitely one that's irritated me. And I've heard it mostly from men. And I heard it just recently from a young man that really broke my heart because I'm like, yo, shorty, you just out the gate. Like, you just started your life. You're in your teens. You haven't even hit the streets. You haven't really felt a lot of emotional hurt or happiness or anything. And you already out the gate talking about once a hoe, you can't turn a hoe into a housewife. It's like, what do you know? You don't even know nothing. So you're actually taking this term to heart because you heard this from somebody else. And now it's in your mind, and now you're going to live your life that way, not giving a young lady, or if a woman hears it, not giving a young man an opportunity based on a lifestyle that they may have lived a couple of years ago when they were single, and they could do whatever they want. They could do who and whatever they wanted. And it's funny when I hear, especially like older guys saying it who may be married or in long-term relationships with their girlfriends. It's like, whoa, you don't even know, like, your wife used to be a hoe. Like, you just don't know this, you know, and it's not for you to know because that was her past. And that's what I'm saying, it's her past. So when she was ready, or when he was ready to stop running the streets and stop sleeping with people and stop dating a lot of people, they made a commitment to you. Okay, they made a commitment to their husbands, to their wives, to their long-term partners, and they stopped doing what they did before. So for you to have that kind of mindset of once this, always this, again, kind of like the once a crackhead, always a crackhead, people change. People change all the time. Now, somebody is with you, or, you know, you've had an experience of being with someone at one point and they continuously cheated on you, then that's an issue. That's somebody who has an infidelity commitment issue, and that person you need to leave alone. But that doesn't mean that that person used to always be a quote unquote hoe. You know, they just may have issues of not wanting to commit, and maybe not wanting to commit to you. And they may be other reasons why they were with you. So you may want to think about that. But please, men, please know that most women have already had their whole phase. Okay, so don't get it twisted. And women, your men may have already had their whole phases. And these things are, as I said, part of their past. And there's people that want to have whole phases now. You know, they're divorced, or, you know, they're just older now. They wish they had taken advantage of their 20s and did what, you know, some people did in their 20s. And now here they are in their 40s and 50s. Now, you can't be out here running around like that. You can't play it like you did, like you could have if you were in your 20s. Those days have passed. There needs to be some sophistication and some privacy that goes along with it. But I'm not saying you can't do what you want to do. You do what you want to do. But it's different. Okay, that's all I'm saying. It's different. You can't run the same way you were and be so carefree as we were in our 20s. But, you know, there is a difference when somebody wants to make a commitment to a relationship. So to have that term and to hear young men use that term, and they haven't even really started dating, they haven't had any serious relationships, and they're already out the gate saying that, okay, well, with this woman, I know this woman slept with 5 guys, then she's a hoe and she's never going to be able to be wife material. It's really disheartening. It's really disheartening because you don't know where that person is today and where they'll be 5 years from now, 10 years from now, and you're already putting a label on them that's saying that you're not going to keep your mind open to the fact that this person may have grown and changed how they used to be. So again, there is power in words, and our young people are listening. And unfortunately, our young people are taking it way too much to heart. Like, these are just sayings. That doesn't mean it's a way of life, you know, and that you should use these sayings as a guide to, you know, how you're going to conduct your relationships. You know, you want to be mindful and you want to be cautious and you want to be safe, but once a crackhead, not always a crackhead. And just because she was a hoe or he was a hoe, that doesn't mean that they can't be committed to you when they're ready to be committed in that relationship. All right, party people, that's all I wanted to say. I wanted to get that off my chest. I hope that really does make a difference in somebody's lives, even if it starts a conversation between a group of friends, or, you know, just 2 girlfriends, 2 male friends, to just talk about, you know, how the reality is not always the same as these lines or different things that we've heard over the years, and how being an adult and living our lives, we realize that there are shades of gray and that everything is not so black and white, and that there are lessons to be learned and little gems that we can pass down to our young people. But being something and not being able to change into something else should not be one. People can always evolve. People can always change. You can, no matter how old you are. I don't believe that you can't teach you can't teach an old dog new tricks. I don't believe that. I believe if the dog wants to learn, even if the dog wants to learn in small baby steps and little bites, it can happen. But the person has to be willing to do the work. Point period. If you're not willing to do the work, nothing's going to happen. And then, yes, those terms will be adequate in describing who that individual is if you don't want to make the change. All right, so is there anything else? I know the lighting in here was kind of off, but I didn't want to turn on a big light, and I just wanted some sunlight to come through, but now it's getting cloudy and look like it's about to storm. So it's kind of blurry in here, but y'all know what I look like, okay? Y'all know what I look like. I'm cute, okay? Oh, and that's going to be another segment. I wanted to bring that up, about looks. But that will be at another time. I will bring that up. So, again, that's all that I wanted to say. I want to talk about those two phrases. I hope everybody has a great rest of your week. Enjoy the rest of your evening. And, anything else? No, that's it. All right, so as always, take care of you and deuces.